Good afternoon, guys. It is January 29th, 2023. In this video here, I want to talk to you about um, things that I wish that vacuum cleaner manufacturers would bring back or make more widely available. Now, there are many things that disappoint me in today's vacuum cleaner market, and um, most of it has to do with just the lack of quality and the lack of um, options for consumers. And I think there's a lot that back in the day was very well thought out, very well designed, and um, they gave consumers a lot more options and a lot more choices and a lot more value for their money. Now, that's not to say that there aren't good vacuums out on the market today. There are more than plenty of good ones that are still out there. Um, Even, on the more known level, like Hoover and those brands and stuff, but they're still not quite as great as they used to be. Now, one thing that I will say, and this is a big one for me, is I really wish that vacuum cleaner manufacturers would make more bagged machines available on the lower end market. And this is a big issue for me because I'm noticing that most machines that you'll find, it is extremely difficult to find bagged vacuum cleaners that are actually halfway decent out on the market that will be not outrageously expensive and still be a decent machine that is bagged, that will be a good option for somebody who's just looking for something to get the job done and they don't want to spend, several $100s or more on a machine. Now, there used to be, I will say that it used to be that all vacuum cleaners pretty much had a bag. And then they started making the option of bagged or bagless or hard box bag or a soft bag or something like that. And nowadays you don't really get a whole lot of options. They just have like certain models and they're pretty much all the same, but they're like the only difference is they may come with an extra tool or something like that, and they don't give you as many options. And so that's a little disappointing to me. Um, Another thing that I think of is just the design and the um, longevity of machines. Um, Most vacuum cleaners used to be made to actually be serviced and repaired very easily. back in the day, like I'm talking like 80s, 90s, 2000s, and even before that. But um, a lot of vacuum cleaners nowadays are very disposable. They're um, very poorly designed and not designed to be repaired, not designed to last. And in quite a few cases, parts are just flat out not available, or they're way, way, way too expensive. And, you know, by the time you add up all those costs, you might as well buy another machine. I don't believe in that. I believe in getting a machine that will last a very long time. I'm talking 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years or more. Um, and, unfortunately, in order to get that, you're going to need to, like, step it up to either the commercial level or the higher end level, which you're gonna spend, $400, $500, $600 at least. Sometimes you can get away with spending like 200, 300 on a decent machine. There are pretty good ones out there that I still recommend. But it's not as easy to find as say it was, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Um, just in general, you've got to look at all these different ones. Now, I'm not saying that, one brand is better than another or anything like that. You have to make that decision yourself as a consumer. Um, the brands that I do recommend are the three that you see on your screen. Um, and these are machines that are built mostly for carpet, but they are designed to last and they are designed to be repaired constantly. I mean, you can rebuild them for cheap and they're well worth fixing almost all the time. I mean, they don't die easily and um, they're really not that expensive to get parts for. Um, Now, the red one on the left is a Sanitaire. That's a direct air Sanitaire. Um, they've been around for decades and decades. They've probably been around for at least 50 to 60 years, if not more. Very, very, very basic, very, very, very reliable. Extremely easy to repair, extremely cost effective, cheap, and easy. Parts are plentiful for them. Um, they are very user friendly in terms of service, and they're just a pleasure to work with. Bags are very cheap, very widely available. Other parts are very cheap and very widely available. So that is one advantage of those. Now, Sanitaire does have vacuum cleaners that are clean air, that have tools on board. Those are pretty darn good as well, depending upon what you get. Some of them are decent, and some of them are honestly kind of junk, in my opinion, because they're really not built as well for commercial use. But, you know, but just because a vacuum cleaner says it's made for commercial use doesn't always mean that it is built for commercial use. And just because a vacuum cleaner says it's for commercial use doesn't mean that it is only for commercial use. You can use it in your house, and that is totally okay. Um, you know, I use commercial machines in my house all the time. Um, Honestly, you're probably better off getting a commercial machine with the options that are available today. Because most of the machines you're going to find at Walmart, Target, um, Amazon, with the exception of some on Amazon, most of those are really, really, really cheap, really, really, really garbage. You know, you get what you pay for, and unfortunately, what you used to be able to get for like $150 to $200 that was actually decent and would last you, 10, 15 years, you're not really going to get that out of a household consumer machine in that price range nowadays, for the most part. So, honestly, I think it's worth looking into the commercial machines because if you go and look for the high end household machines, you're gonna spend, four, five, six, seven, $800 on those. And is it worth it? Oh, it depends on what you want to spend. I would say if it's designed to last, if it's designed to be repaired, if parts are plentiful, if people have them for decades and decades and decades, and they're all over the place, they're so common, they're easy to repair, then I would say yes. Those prices are definitely worth it. It's an investment, but, it all depends on your budget and what you're willing to spend. Um, if you can find a refurbished unit that's been serviced, cleaned, and you know, checked and repaired, um, you're gonna get a better deal that way, and you'll probably pay like half price or something like that of what it originally costed new. And you can also go for a used machine, a good used machine, although I would recommend that if you are looking at used machines, just be careful and look over the machine really well. Make sure that it's in good shape, make sure that it's clean. If it's very, very dirty, very, very beat up, and looks like it was used to clean a very nasty place, I would not buy it and bring that in my house. I just wouldn't. Um, so, I mean, normal dirt is okay, but if it's just nasty and has been abused to no end, I don't want that in my house. I do repair vacuum cleaners and service them, so I can deal with that more than say an average consumer would. But you know, it all depends on your your abilities. I would look at, pawn shops and places like that, because you'll find some pretty decent higher end machines that are actually in pretty good shape. Because if a pawn shop is willing to buy it and it's in good shape and everything, most likely it'll be a good unit. The Auric vacuum cleaner in the middle, I got it at a pawn shop for $25, and the Kirby vacuum cleaner on the right, I got at a pawn shop for $100 with all the tools and everything with it. 5 years ago, which was a very, very good deal for that. So, there's different ways that you can look at machines, and just do your research and figure out what's best for you. Not every vacuum is one size fits all, but back to my main point, there's a lot of things that I think the vacuum cleaner industry is lacking in, and one of them is good quality machines. A lot of vacuums used to have, wood brush rolls or really, really, really good plastic brush rolls that were more of a composite material instead of just, cheap plastic. Most of the time, you're just seeing plastic crap brush rolls that really do not hold up at all, and are very, very harsh, very, very damaging to carpet and damaging to the machine, because, those plastic brush rolls are not built to take the heat, and the constant friction and the constant movement, and they end up melting, burning, warping, and sometimes just damaging the whole housing of the machine, which is not good. So I think wood or metal brush rolls need to be brought back and more common again. And I think that options for the consumer should be more common, because back in the day you used to have like models that you could get either the basic model with no headlight, just, a 20 to 25 foot cord and, a basic on off switch. And then you could get the next model up, which would be like the premium or something, where you would have a little bit longer cord, maybe a headlight, and stuff like that. And then you would have the deluxe, which you might have like a fingertip switch and a headlight and, a 35 to 40 foot cord or something like that. And nowadays you just don't see that. Headlights are like not a common thing anymore, and there is a necessity for headlights. In some cases, I'm not saying that every vacuum needs headlights, but they do come in handy. They do help, in dimly lit areas, when you're cleaning under furniture, around furniture where, it's a little darker, or you're cleaning stairs, or, something like that. They do come in handy. And lastly, I think there's a lot of vacuum cleaners that are going all bagless, or mostly bagless. And I think that there should be options. There should be options of, like, okay, we offer this model and you can get it in bagged or bagless, or with a headlight or without a headlight, or something like that. I would really like to see some of that brought back. And I would like to see, like I said, the wood and metal brush rolls brought back, and them designed to be replaced and repaired and serviced a lot easier, more widely available. And a lot of people kind of frown upon the idea of a bagged vacuum cleaner. Honestly, there are a lot of benefits to a bagged vacuum cleaner. Number one, you can go months and months and months on one bag in a bagged vacuum cleaner before it's full. I can get 3 to 6 months out of a bag on most of my vacuum cleaners, just with normal household dirt. It's not necessarily like big messes or anything like that. Even if you have pets, a bag should last no less than a month, but like I said, in my house, they last several months. And the bags have larger capacities. They keep all the dirt inside the bag, so it's not getting inside the crevices of the machine, it's not getting in filters, it's not getting stuck and clogged and everything like that. And bags, in terms of the bags that are available nowadays, have gotten a lot better. A lot of times, like even the Kirby vacuum cleaners now use like a cloth type material bag that's like it's like a fiber material. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's very thick and it filters stuff out very well. The Oryx are the same way. And yeah, again, it's just about capacity. You can hold a lot more, and you don't have to worry about it because, you just vacuum, you put it away, and you just keep doing it until the bag is full. And once the bag is full, you just pull it out, you throw it away, and you put a new bag in. And the cost to run a bagged machine is honestly going to be cheaper in the long run because, you only change the bag once, every several months. And, if you get a pack of like 6 bags, you're talking like probably, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks, just the average price for a pack of bags. And a lot of times you only have to change the bag every few months, and you only have to buy bags like once a year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years. And if you add up the cost of replacing filters in a bagless vacuum cleaner, that's going to cost you more money in the long run just for one filter, which needs to be changed every 6 months to a year. So, and not to mention, with bagless vacuum cleaners, you're emptying them more often, and they're just messier. So, yeah, that's just some things that I think about. Um, I'm not saying that, everything has to be like the same as it was. There were still crappy vacuum cleaners back in the 90s and 2000s. I mean, there really was. But, there was a lot of really good ones that were very well thought out. And I think the vacuum cleaner industry is really trying to just reinvent the wheel. And a lot of times you really don't need to do that. Um, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Um, it's just one of those things that I think about. Um, it's pretty important to consider, but also just, the simpler you keep a machine, the more reliable it's going to be, and the longer it is, the longer it's going to last. That's with any appliance. Because at the end of the day, do you want something that does a good job and lasts a long time? Or do you want something that's really fancy that may not do as great of a job and will break and be harder to fix and, not last as long? So, just some things that I've been thinking about and some things to consider if you're shopping for a vacuum cleaner or whatnot. Um, and it's not to say that vacuum cleaners that are at Walmart or Target are bad or that they're no good, but, you know, I can tell you, some of them are decent and some of them are just pieces of crap. You know, I'm telling you. Um, so it all just depends on your needs. Obviously, if you're in a very large home, like say like 2,000, 3,000 square feet, and you have a lot of carpeting or something like that, then something like a Kirby or some larger machine like that would be preferable because they're just larger machines that are very efficient. They just get the job done. But if you're in a smaller place, like a small apartment, like a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom apartment or something, and you don't want a massive machine, or you don't need a massive machine, then something like an Oreck might be a better choice for you. But those aren't the only options. These are just ideas and kind of things that I think about to, um, recommend to different people in different homes. Because, to tell you the truth, vacuum cleaners are not a one size fits all. Every home is different, every family is different, everybody's lifestyle is different, and everybody's, abilities are different because, not everybody has the strength to use a larger machine, and not everybody necessarily, wants to deal with a smaller machine. So it just depends, you know, on what your needs are, what your preferences are, what your budget is, you know, what your household environment is, and, you know, many, many, many different factors on which vacuum cleaner you choose. So anyway, I hope that was informative and that got you thinking, and I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on some things that I miss in the vacuum cleaner industry. Um, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.